arms can be hard to take off if you are short or you have a short reach. So if you're having difficulties removing the fry arms, ask for assistance from someone taller, or use the step stool to um, increase your height. And if you are having a difficult time turning the screws and bolts, just remember the saying, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and that should help ensure that you are turning the tool in the right direction. And out the fryers are removing the fryer baskets and arms, draining the oil, adding water and cleaning solution, boil the cleaning solution, drain the cleaning solution, add water and vinegar mix, drain the water and vinegar, rinse wells with water until clean, and then refilling the fryer wells with oil. The boil out can take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours depending on the skill level of the managers completing the procedure. Because of the amount of time it takes to complete the boil out, it is usually completed before the store opens for business. Recently, the procedure for the boil out changed. Previously, I used a method suggested by the manual. The procedure was slightly modified to speed up the process and make it more efficient. The essential steps are still the same, and I will discuss the differences in the procedure currently being used and the one in the manual. The first step is to remove the fry irons. You're going to need an Allen wrench to remove the two screws at the top of the arm. And as you can see, I placed the screw into a container so I don't lose it. And then you just simply pull it out, and then there is another bolt connecting the fryer plate to the rod. The fryer arms can be hard to take off if you are short or you have a short reach. So if you're having difficulties removing the fry arms, ask for assistance from someone taller, or use the step stool to um, increase your height. And if you are having a difficult time turning the screws and bolts, just remember the saying, righty tighty, lefty loosey, and that should help ensure that you are turning the tool in the right direction. The next step is to drain the oil. So remove the cap from the bottom, make sure that the cap is closed, and we drain the oil into buckets so that we can drain more than one fryer at a time. If we drain it into the filter, which is what the manual recommends, we can only dump the oil of one of the fryers. So by dumping it into the buckets, you can dump it into more. You can dump all three fryers at once, which is much more convenient and efficient for us. Another reason we don't use a filter is because by using the filter, you have to use the filter to pump the oil that we drain back into the same fryer. And the reason why we like to avoid doing that is because the oil pumps best when it is hot. So by not heating the oil, it removes a step. It also makes it a little bit safer for the employees to work with the oil in the machine if it isn't as hot, and we start with it when it's cold, and we only have to turn it on to boil the water and cleaning solution once. The next step is to fill a bucket with water and then fill the fryer well up with that water, and to add a 1 or 2 scoops of cleaning solution as recommended by the manual. Currently we only use 1 scoop as we didn't notice a difference when we used 2. Also, you only want to fill the well up to the minimum line at most. If anything, you want to do it in between the heating coils and the min line to keep it from overflowing. The next step is to boil out the water and the cleaning solution. So you turn on the fryer, and like I just showed you in the video, there is a temperature button. You can hit that and it'll tell you what the temperature is. You want to make sure that you are always supervising the fryer at this step. If you add too much water, the water in the solution will boil over, and that can damage a control panel and also be dangerous to you or anyone else working. So just make sure you are closely monitoring it. If it gets close to overflowing, turn it off and then wait several minutes and then try again. And what you are waiting for is for the machine to kick out. It turns off on its own. It can sense when the liquid inside of it is boiling. So water boils at around 212 degrees. So once it reaches that, it should kick out shortly, um, as you see in the video, and then the control panel will say boil out. The um, and the fryers will lower the temperature and just maintain the water um, at a hot level, but will prevent it from um, boiling continuously, and that should help prevent it from going over. Once the water is boiling, put on a burn-proof glove and apply steel wool to the sides until um, it is cleaner. You should be able to scrub away at a lot of the grime and oil that has dried onto the sides. And so do it all the way up and down the back, all the way around the sides, and then scrub down the pipes and the inner walls as best as you can. And once you are done with that, then you can continue on to the next step. Once that is completed, then you drain the water and the cleaning solution into uh, the 5-gallon buckets and place them on a cart to be taken to the washroom in the back. Each well fills up usually a bucket and a half, and then just dump it down the drain in the back, and then you are done with this step and you can continue on to the next one. The next step is pretty simple, and it will be similar to some of the things you've done. So first you fill up a couple buckets of water, and then you set up a bucket underneath the drain, and then you just simply rinse out the well. And you just repeat rinsing it until all of the debris from the well is out. So a lot of things come loose while you are scrubbing the well with the cleaning solution, and right now you're just trying to get all of that out before you proceed with the next step. So it may take one bucket, it may take 4 or 5, depending on how much stuff is in there, how much water you use. And then once you're done rinsing, just take the buckets to the back washroom like you did with the last ones. Once the fryer has been rinsed with water to remove the debris in the fryer well, the fryer needs to be rinsed with a vinegar and water mixture. This is to neutralize the chemicals in the cleaning solution. So first, fill the fryer with water up to the fill line, and then add 1 cup of vinegar. Then simply drain the water and dispose of the water and vinegar mixture in the drain in the washroom. Next, rinse the well one more time, and then dispose of the water in the back washroom. And then take the oil that you set aside in the oil bucket and refill the wells. Also, during this step, you should clean the fryer arms. Something I failed to mention earlier is that once you remove them, you should set them in soap and let them soak. So after you watch this video, you will know to do that next time. It makes it easier to clean. If you don't do that, it's still possible to clean. It just may take a little bit longer. So in the future, let it soak in the bag, and it'll be easier for you to clean. And then you can continue to the final step. The final step is to just reattach the arms to the fryer. So first we assemble them. It's a little bit earlier in the video. Um, and just insert the bolts and line up the holes, and then Once the plate is attached to the arm, just reattach it to the pole that you took it off of when you first started. And just make sure that everything is tightened as much as you can, and then you're done. Congratulations, the boil out is complete. Watch this video as needed to assist in your training of this difficult procedure. I have faith in all of you that you will be able to perform this procedure correctly and safely. Good luck!